Hi guys, it's Kasha. Welcome back to my channel. This is a part 2 of my fan account with twice members from Kura Kura events. In today's video, I'll be talking about my interactions with Mina, Dahyun, Chaeyoung, and Tsuyi for Prize B event and Momo for Prize C event. I talked about my interactions with other members in the previous video, so if you haven't seen that already, I'll leave a link to it in the card and the description box below, so you can check it out later. Before we start, as a word of introduction, if you've seen a part 1 of these interactions and you thought that I didn't do so well with the members, you should prepare for this one. In times like this, I'm honestly so glad that I cannot show you the videos from these events because they save you from a lot of the second-hand embarrassment. So let's start. Right after my interaction with Jihyo, I was like so high on this attention from Jihyo. The fact that Jihyo remembered me even though I totally did not expect it. And like she remembered detail about my hair. So at that time I was kind of out of my mind and like I needed time to process what just happened, and since the event cannot stop just for me, I did not have that time. So I just had to proceed to the next member in line, and that was Mina. The interaction itself didn't actually start that bad. I started my call with greeting Mina, konnichiwa. And Mina smiled really widely and she just replied with hi, konnichiwa. And that's when the mess just started. So I tried to tell Mina that I was so happy to meet her that day. And I did so with other members as well, except for the fact that this time I somehow managed to mix Japanese and Korean again. So what I actually said to Mina was, "교 아에테 너무." And at that time, we just both burst out laughing, and well, Mina seemed really entertained, so I guess it's not that bad after all. When I think about that interaction right now, I still want to scream, and I really wanted to scream at that moment, like, "Mina-chan, その時会えて本当に嬉しかったです。うまく伝えられなくてごめんなさい." And with me and Mina laughing at me messing up what I wanted to say, we just ended the call like that. Next in line was Dahyun. To be completely honest, I think Dahyun is always one of my favorite interactions. Like, she tries to make everyone comfortable and she just seems genuinely happy to be seeing all of the fans. So I greeted her saying, "안녕하세요, Kim Dahyun," similarly to what I did during the Eyes Wide Open video call event. And Dahyun just replied with, "안녕하세요. Nice to meet you." And there is that one more thing that I really appreciate about Dahyun is the fact that she always tries to communicate with fans, like no matter which language they speak. And like even with Japanese, she's one of the members that really puts a lot of effort in learning Japanese and communicating with Japanese fans. And even though sometimes she makes a lot of mistakes and sometimes what she says doesn't really make sense in Japanese either, she just tries to do that because she wants to communicate with the Japanese fans. And that's really something that I admire about Dahyun. So at that time, I just told Dahyun that I was really happy to be able to see her and that I love her so much. And Dahyun just replied by saying, thank you. And she made the heart and like she closed one of her eyes. So I think that was a wink. I'm really bad at doing that, sorry. Either way, this interaction with Dahyun was super cute and she was such an energy boost to me. So I ended this call with like such high spirits. And now my interaction with Chaeyoung. I was the first one who greeted her. I just said, 안녕하세요. Chaeyoung simply replied with, 안녕. And then she made a shocked face. And to this day, I don't really know why she made a shocked face, but like she opened her mouth and she was like, I didn't really know the reason for her being shocked. So I just said, 오랜만이에요. A long time no see, because I thought like, maybe she did recognize me or something, like no reason for her to be shocked, I guess. And then Chaeyoung's face changed from the shocked one to like really happy one, and she just replied to me saying, 오랜만이에요. And then the second mess of the day happened and I tried to tell Chaeyoung that our hair looks similar. I know obviously they don't look similar now, but at that time I had blonde hair and my roots kind of started to show, and that was really similar to what Chaeyoung had at that moment. I tried to tell Chaeyoung like, our hair looks similar while doing that gesture, but she didn't get me and it was a mess. So Chaeyoung was really confused again about what I was trying to say, but she remained smiling and Our call pretty much ended with her being confused, but I know and I'm sorry. I will definitely do better next time, I promise. And my last introduction for the Prize B event was with Tsui. And I know this interaction was kind of short again and a little bit awkward, but it's totally on me because I'm the awkward one here. Tsui was the one who greeted me first, and she said konnichiwa in Japanese. So that was a little bit surprising to me because usually she would greet me in English or in Korean, but like never in Japanese before. So I greeted her back in Korean, and then like with most of the calls that day, I just used my standard phrase for the day, which was, I am so happy to be able to meet you today and I love you so much. Tsui just replied saying arigato, and she was doing the finger hearts, and that was the end. And with that, the Prize B event finished. So that was all of the 9 members for 10 seconds per member. And I know that the interactions may be a little bit lacking, but trust me, 10 seconds is really not that much. And like adding up all the nerves and like you're freaking out because the time is so short and you're seeing the artists that you really love, it can get a little bit stressful. My last event for the Kura Kura release was Prize C event, which is an individual video call with Momo, and it was also 10 seconds. The call started with me greeting Momo, just saying, ah, Momo-ring, and Momo replying with, ah. I think that is pretty much the standard interaction we've been having ever since I met Momo for the first time in 2017. And then right away, Momo is like, mata mata, which means again, again, and I think that was referring to us meeting again, either again during events or again during the same event, like the same day. So I just copied her and I just replied with mata mata, and we both started laughing. It was just for a moment though, because I realized we don't have that much time and I still had something that I prepared to say to her that day. So I quickly said, 英語シングル頑張ってね、ずっと応援しています。So basically that means good luck or like do well with your English single, and I'm always supporting you. During these words of encouragement, Momo just kept nodding and saying hi, hi. And I was just really happy that I could share my words of encouragement with Momo. Looking back, I know that some of the interactions were a little bit lacking or a little bit awkward, but I honestly had such a great time with the members once again, and I really love meeting them. Even seeing them for 10 seconds is enough, and they like my happy pills and they just keep me energized in my life. And I'm sure that's the same for most onesies, if not all of us. I hope you enjoyed these 2 videos I made about my fan account from these events, and I hope that you will stay for the future ones as well. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, as I'll be uploading more Twice related content in the near future. And that's it for today. See you in the next one. Bye bye.